So I'm going to press play, which is where we can build our animals, but we can also race them and play them in different parts of the map. So it's called here Ruby Ridge Race. And I'm going to pull up the bendies, bendy 1 that you're going to be working with, bendy 1, bendy 3, and bendy 5. And we're going to race these. So these creatures have all of the same neurons in their CPGs. They have the same muscles, they have the same body plan, they have different colors. That's the only physical differences outside of the brain. Inside the brain, they have all the same neurons, but the connectivity differs. And so this is the 1x simulation, which I'll let it run through once. And it looks like one of our bendies made it to the finish line and gets scooped up by this funny, crazy lightning bolt thing. And we got another one coming in. And so what's nice about this is that you can actually collect data. It's obviously just one variable that you can measure the time it takes to get across. There will be variation, but you can do repeated experiments. You can race them many times. This last bendy doesn't seem to want to cross the finish line. It's not moving so well. And so we have their times. And so you could replay that. And you can actually generate a lot of data pretty quickly because this is a simulation and we can move up to 400x. So we can speed through and do several races pretty quickly. Ooh, close. I'll just do one more. So it looks like this blue friend of ours seems to be winning all of the races, maybe. Usually bendy number 5 comes in second, but that time bendy 3 came in second. So you're all going to be assigned to figure out the connectome of one of these bendies, and then you're gonna, in a group, and then you can get together with a group that worked on other bendies and compare notes, and then we'll talk about that. So we want to start putting you all into breakout rooms.
While Eric is doing that, maybe I can share the link to the breakout room materials. But again, to respond to a question in the chat, do you have students design their own and raise them? That could be a thing that you could do. Eric has done that before. In the way that I implemented it, since I only had 1 week, I basically gave students these bendy creatures in Peacock and had them crack the circuit, but then certainly could, you know, like if I wanted to do 2 or 3 weeks of this activity, I could have them then build their own. And so the goal here, so when we're working in breakout groups, we're simulating sort of an activity where you're going to work with a few people to figure out a connectome of one of these bendies, right? You'll be assigned one of them based on which breakout group number you're in. You will work with your teammates to solve that bendy. Then we're going to shuffle you into new groups where you'll have people who've worked on all the different bendies, and you can compare and contrast what the connectomes are. So you can find differences in the connectomes and relate them to what we've seen in the racetrack behavior. Does that make sense? Yeah, that's the plan. So you should be able to, if you click on the spreadsheet in the chat, the link, that link should take you to a spreadsheet, and you'll see on the spreadsheet the breakout room numbers, which creature you should open in the Connectome Explorer, and a link to a deck of slides, which you and your group mates can use to organize the experiments you do and your observations. And so we could, you know, start in the first slide, it'll tell you which bendy to load in, and then you can sort of work with your group to do experiments and then collect your observations and try to sketch out the connectome. I believe parts of it are done for you, I think here. Let me just double check that. You're already given basically which motor neurons go to which muscle, and you are given an interneuron connection to the motor neuron. And then you will complete with your group the rest of the connectome. Okay. And we're gonna give you about until 40 minutes past the hour, I believe. So that's a little like 35 minutes. If you finish early, you can come back or you can look at another bendy. But we'll see how far we get in that period of time, and then we'll reshuffle you. I should mention, if you need, we've got a breakout group that we will assign a captioner to. So if you would like the captioning, please send a private message to Eric. So I'm going to put that in the chat.